Well, I'll let them know I know President. They should match.
This meeting of July 15, 2020 is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law and was included in a list of meetings notice transmitted to the Two River Times and the Asbury Park Press and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and in the borough website on July 13, 2020. Meeting notices remain continuously posted as the required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public. It is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. No official action may be taken at this meeting. Proper notice having been given, municipal clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of the meeting. Please be advised that due to the current state of emergency and public health emergency declared by Governor Phil Murphy pursuant to executive order and in an effort to prevent further spread of COVID-19, the general public will be excluded from Borough Council meetings until further notice. The public will be able to participate in all Borough Council meetings by video conference. A link for the live stream will be posted on the Borough website, www.highlandsborough.org. Members of the public will be able to give public comment during relevant portions of this meeting. All rise to the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like everyone to just remain standing for a moment, just to have a moment of silence for, Larry Cole. He was a great friend of the town, and I have a proclamation of everyone. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my laptop around here, and we are going to swear in.
Mayor, can I call the roll first, please? Okay, my apologies. Councilmember Braswell. Here. Councilmember Mazzola. Here. Councilmember Valkos. Council President Ryan.
Here.
Mayor Brion.
Here.
All present quorum is formed. We have a request by the mayor to move item R20-160 to the front of the agenda. I don't believe we need a motion. It's mayor's privilege. R20-160 is a resolution appointing Joseph Blewett as patrolman in the Borough of Highlands. Do I have a motion?
I will make that motion.
I have a motion by Mayor Brion, a second. Second by Council President Ryan. And I'll do a quick roll call vote. Councilmember Braswell. Yes. Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos. Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Congratulations, young Mr. Blewett, and the mayor will now swear you in.
Mayor, would it be okay if they remove their masks and hold in the same household?
Absolutely. Would someone from the family like to hold the Bible?
Absolutely, please.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Blewett Jr.,
I, Joseph Blewett Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established by the United States and this state.
just repeat that.
You got it. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, to the governments established in the United States
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the government of the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all of the duties of the office of patrolman.
and I will justly
I will justly perform all of the duties
and I will justly perform all the duties
of the office of patrolman
of the office of patrolman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Yeah. Wow. Be safe, young man.
This is for the best.
One will be good.
Thanks, Mayor. Have a good night.
Frank, you should sign that one.
Okay, okay, correct. That's okay. What?
Congratulations.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Yes.
I did. That was great seeing you. Yeah, I needed you. Sure, thank you.
Because,
Thank you. I should consider that. Yeah, absolutely.
Your Honor, would you like to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Next on the agenda, we have a very sincere proclamation for somebody who is a very nice gentleman, a member of the Land Use Board, a proclamation in memoriam of Mr. Lawrence Larry Colby, to be read by Mayor Pion.
Thank you. Whereas Mr. Lawrence Colby, a longtime citizen of the Borough of Highlands, passed away in his beloved borough on June 20th, 2020. Whereas Mr. Colby served the borough with honor as a dedicated member of the Land Use Board, the Highlands Housing Authority, a volunteer EMT, and has made many other significant contributions to the borough, including assisting with starting the clam decoration plant. And whereas Larry Colby will be sorely missed and fondly remembered as a kind, friendly, and helpful neighbor who had too many friends to count. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands their deepest condolences and sympathies to the Colby family. And be it further proclaimed, the Mayor and Council extend their deepest thanks and fond memories to the well-lived life of Mr. Lawrence Larry Colby and for his contributions and dedication to his family, friends, neighbors, and the community. We wish you Godspeed and eternal peace. Done on this 15th day of July, 2020, under my hand, Carolyn Bouillon. Mayor of the Borough of Highlands, with members of the Borough Council, Rosemary Ryan, Council President Kenneth Braswell, Linda Mazzola, and Cody Valkos. Thank you.
Next, we have the public hearing, the introduction and set public hearing date for two ordinances. First, we have ordinance 020-17, an ordinance amending chapter 21 of the Borough Code concerning fees. Do I have a motion?
I will make it.
I'll second it.
Motion by the mayor, a second by Council President Ryan. I'll now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. The public hearing is set for August 19th, 2020. Next, we have ordinance 20-18, an ordinance amending chapters 2, 3, 4, and 16 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Highlands to revise various fee schedules. Do I have a motion to set the public hearing date for August 19th?
I will make that motion.
I have a motion by the mayor,
I'll second.
second by Council President Ryan. I'll now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. The public hearing for this is set on August 19th, 2020. Next, we have the public hearing on ordinance 20-15, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement for the lease of borough-owned property to the Highlands Business Partnership for a public purpose.
I'll make the motion.
We have to open up.
Oh,
the
I'm
public
sorry.
hearing.
Oh, here.
I'll open up for questions from the public.
It's Carol Bucko, 330 Shore Drive, Highlands. Could you just read the last part of that ordinance? Well, you don't have to read it. I'll just refer to it. Talk about recreational, educational, cultural activity, events, and programs to promote health and general welfare, civic, educational, historic, cultural, and economic well-being and vitality to the borough. Okay, everything that the Highlands Business Partnership runs involves drinking. Everything. So I don't see where they are promoting health and welfare for the Borough of Highlands. So if you're going to rent them this piece of property, I think it ought to be, first of all, I think the years are too many. 10 years is way too many. You might change your mind in 3. And $1 is way too little because all the money they make from their beer games or whatever they run, they can certainly afford more than $1 a year. Anyway, I just think that it's just outrageous. I understand that the shed belongs to them. I understand you've allowed it to be on borough property. But I think that now to enter into this kind of a deal is way, way too much. Years ago, people got into the clam hut stuff, and it just killed them. They couldn't get out of it. And I think 10 years, you're not going to get out of it.
Carol, there's a 30-year bail. 30-day bail, I'm sorry, 30-day bail.
For who? You guys or them?
Yeah, we can terminate without cause within 30 days.
Oh, but
Can be terminated by either party at any time by serving the other party with written notice not less than 30 days prior to a termination date.
Well, you're not going to terminate it because what difference does it make? But the town ought to get more from it than $1 a year for 10 years. And 10 years is too long. So I think that you should change the ordinance. That's my opinion, and I believe that I don't see anything that they do to promote health and general welfare and educational, historic, and cultural events. You gonna say that St. Patrick's Day Parade is a cultural event? It's a drink fest.
Thank you, Carol.
I think that you ought to have better judgment than to get into this deal.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have something to say?
I do. Kim Scorpus, 315 Short Drive. I made most of my comments last meeting. I'm surprised nobody bothered to amend this ordinance to reflect the true profitability of the business partnership. For a nonprofit that can afford to pay one of its members and the spouse of a board member over $13,000 for internet work, advertising, and marketing, they can afford more than $1 a year for this lease. And I'm going to urge the borough and the council to give them, fine, approve the ordinance, whatever, give them their 30 days notice and make them remove this shed from borough property. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else?
Tricia Rivera, 31 Waterwitch. I have something to say. Kim, I have a question for you. How much did the HPB want to charge us to put the Christmas tree up last year? Take it out of storage?
I believe it was a couple of $1,000s. I think that Ken might be able to answer.
That incorrectly. They did not want to charge you. They wanted to sell it to you because they can't put it.
Okay, so they want to charge taxpayers for something, and we're going to give them something for $1 for 10 years.
The tree has a value now.
No, it was to take it out of storage, wasn't it?
They can't afford the storage.
Kim,
Still went up. But
okay, so it was to take it out of storage, Ken, correct?
storage is selling the tree.
I'm trying to ask Kim a question. Kim, was it to take it out of storage or to purchase it?
It was the cost of the storage.
Okay, the cost of the storage.
Take it out.
To take it out. So what's fair is fair. I mean, if you're expecting taxpayers to pay for something, $1 just doesn't seem fair. I mean, this is something for the Christmas
What about
lighting. The Christmas.
He gave the town outright.
The Christmas lighting is for the community and for the children. So it seems wrong.
They paid for it all now.
Can you mute?
I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. The HBP has spent their money on borough assets for 20 years.
I can't hear you again.
I don't know what to do to make it any
Now I
better.
can.
So HBP has spent money to add to the borough assets for 20 years. Would you like me to list a few?
I don't need you to list a few. I really don't.
I wouldn't expect you would, because that would spoil your argument.
Well, what? Okay, you want to list what you've given the borough, because I know the borough has given you've used our assets, including the police, the DPW, the borough property. I mean, that for years and years and years, nobody's complained about it. And then one Christmas, no tree. So what's fair is fair.
No, HBP lost a great deal of their funding, their mechanism for funding, so they cannot afford to use the tree anymore. But for all the while that they did have the tree, they paid for it, not the borough.
They were in charge of the Christmas lighting. That's why.
They elected to be in charge of it, and everyone was happy with that. But
Okay,
they gave tree lighting. They gave all the tree lighting activities to the borough.
But they didn't last year, so
Yes, we did. We absolutely did have a tree lighting last year.
Yeah, it wasn't the big tree that was in storage. It was held
Correct,
hostage.
because
It was held hostage because it was sunsetted. That's exactly what happened, Ken. But
Yes,
that's
as
my
far as the tree-
commentary. I'm not arguing with you.
Okay, we need Hang on, Ken,
I'm
please.
trying to give you the facts. I'm not arguing.
That's great. We need to have one person at a time. Okay, Tricia, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, there's nothing else I have to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. Does anyone else have anything to add? Okay, seeing no other comments, we're going to end public session.
Public hearing on 20-15 is now closed. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
I have a motion by Mayor Brion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Council President Ryan. I'll now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Abstain?
Councilmember Braswell abstains. Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola votes aye. Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Councilmember Brion.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mayor Brion, my apologies. The vote is 4-0, and the next we have public hearing on ordinance 20-16, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement for the lease of borough-owned property to the Highlands Garden Club for public purpose.
I'd like to again open this up for public comment for the Garden Club. Anyone?
I think you should give it to the garden club for nothing. They do something for the town.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's Carol.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Thank you, Carol. Does anyone else have a comment?
Yes, Kim Skorka, 315 Shore Drive. I just also want to second Carol. I appreciate everything the Garden Club does for the town, and all they ask is for a small contribution from the borough, and they do a good job raising money.
So I would like to make a comment. Can I?
We're just thinking.
Okay. Part of the reason that we have this for the Garden Club too is because if anybody gets hurt while working in the area on like where they store their stuff, or if anything happens to their property, we are then covered. So it's an insurance factor for us too. Am I correct, Mr. Trebarek?
Both leases require the tenant to provide indemnification, so you're getting protection now for the use of these sheds. So yes, you're correct that you're protected with these leases.
Thank you, Brian. Does anyone else have a comment? Public portion, and with that, I will make an offer.
Public portion is closed. I have an offer by Mayor Brion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Mazzola. I will now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Ordinance 0-2016. Next, we have Resolution R-20-159, a resolution authorizing the payment of bills. Is there anything that needs to be separated out?
No. And with that, I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Mayor Brion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Council President Ryan. Now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. The payment of bills is approved. We have already done Resolution R-20-160, which is the approval of Mr. Joseph Blewett as a patrolman. Congratulations, Mr. Blewett. Next, we have Resolution R-20-161, a resolution accepting the resignation of a member of the Open Space Committee and appointing a new member of the unexpired term. Anybody from council have any comments on this? Do I have an offer?
I'll second.
I have an offer by Councilmember Mazzola, second by Councilmember Valkos, and I'll call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I need to abstain.
We have an extension to Councilmember Mazzola. Council President Ryan.
Yes.
I do have a problem, technical problem. I'm gonna need
Because of the
help.
introduction.
Yeah.
So why don't you restart the?
We're gonna reintroduce this. We have ordinance R20-161, a resolution accepting the resignation of a member of the Open Space Committee and appointing a new member of the unexpired term. Can I have an offer?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Councilmember Falcos, a second by Council President Ryan. Now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell. Councilmember Mazzola, you were abstaining. Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Falcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have resolution R2162, mayoral appointment, a resolution appointing 2 members to the Borough of Highlands Land Use Board. And just for the record, to go back to 161 real quick, my apologies. Jessica Picciano is the party that has been appointed to the Open Space Committee.
And the resolution 2162 is a mayoral appointment, so you just need confirmation from the mayor because it's a class 4 member and an alternate member of the land use board.
Okay. That being said, I will ask for an introduction. I have an introduction from the mayor. Do I have a second? No, we're going to pause for a second while council members reconnect. Please stand by.
I'll make a motion.
Now, I'm going to recall it in a second, just when everybody gets back on. Is everybody back? Okay, I'm going to reread. This is resolution R2162, a mayoral appointment. And this is for the appointment of a class 4 member, Anne Marie Tierney, and alternate number 4 of Lorraine Pennington. I have a motion.
I'll make it.
I have a motion by the mayor who gets automatic deferral, and do I have a second? Second by Council President Ryan. I'll call the roll. Councilmember Braswell. Councilmember Mazzola. Council President Ryan. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Once again, my condolences to the Colby family. Mr. Colby was a very nice man. I hope they can fill his shoes well. Next, we have resolution R2163, a resolution amending resolution R19279, adopted on November 13, 2019, authorizing the purchase of a police vehicle.
I'll make it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Valcos, a second by Council President, by Mayor Brion. Councilmember Braswell. Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have resolution R2164. This is a resolution appointing temporary summer seasonal employees for the Borough of Highlands.
I'll second.
By Mayor Brion, a second by Councilmember Valcos. Councilmember Braswell, your vote, sir.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council
Wait,
President Ryan.
wait, Councilman Mazzola, are you abstaining from this?
The names on the list are Isiel Lopez, Gabriela Cervantes, Jessica Picciano, and Danielle Hertel. We have an abstention by Councilmember Mazzola. Council President Ryan. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Congratulations to the 4 young people. Next, we have resolution R2165, a resolution approving a first aid squad application of our own Council President, Rosemary Ryan.
I'll make it.
I have an offer by Councilmember Valcos. Do I have a second? I have a second by Mayor Brion. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola. I assume you are abstaining, Council
I'm
President?
abstaining.
I have an abstention by Council President Ryan. Councilmember Valcos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion. So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R20-166, a resolution appointing a part-time code enforcement officer for the Borough of Highlands. This is Mr. David Parker. Do I have an offer?
I'll make the offer.
I have an offer from Council President Ryan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mayor Brion. I'll call the roll now. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola. Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R20-167. This is authorizing the preparation and submittal of a community development block grant funding application for fiscal year 2021. If you all recall, we had a public hearing on this at the meeting of June 17th.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mayor Brion.
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Valkos. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion. So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R20-168, a resolution awarding a fair and open contract for the bulkhead improvements to Cedar Street and Jones Creek projects.
I will make that offer.
I have an
I'll
offer by
second.
Mayor Brion, a second by Councilmember Valkos. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have a resolution R20-169, a resolution awarding a fair and open contract for the improvements to Mountain Street.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
I have an offer by Councilmember Valkos, a second by Mayor Brion. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion. So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R20-170, a resolution authorizing purchase of a police vehicle.
I'll offer it.
I just have a quick question, Kim. This purchase, is this going to go towards the CARES, just like the other ATVs?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have an offer on the table of Mayor Brion.
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilmember Valkos. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R2171, a resolution authorizing temporary street closure. This is for the We Back the Blue walk on Monday, July 20th at 6 p.m.
I'll offer it.
I'll second.
I have an offer by Mayor Brion, a second by Councilmember Valkos. Now call the roll. Councilmember Braswell.
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzola.
Yes.
Council President Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valkos.
Yes.
Mayor Brion.
Yes.
So ordered. Next, we have Resolution R2172, a resolution authorizing the award of a fair and open contract for borough planner for a business district and residential. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. This was pulled. My apologies. This is. And that is it for the resolutions. Next, we have the approval of minutes from January 15th and February 5th. Everybody have an adequate chance to review the minutes.
I have no changes. I'll offer it.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Second, offered by Mayor Brion, a second by Council President Ryan. I believe this is just an all in favor vote, so all are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So all in favor. The minutes of January 15th and February 5th, 2020 are approved. Next on, we have other business construction compliance.
Sorry. This was brought up by the zoning officer. When you look at our different fees that we have for the different applications, it's a little bit convoluted. So she had asked that we take a look at our fees, which were sent in an email. I can pull it up as well. And she had a suggested amount and what fees were combined into one another. That was in we put those amounts in there? What was that? Okay.
They were put into the first ordinance in Schedule A.
I think.
We're put into the first ordinance in Schedule A.
Okay, perfect.
Doug, I'm trying to find you in all of these faces. Can you please go, oh, there you are. Can you please go over the status of borough projects?
Sure thing. All right, July status report starts with the construction project, North Street Pump Station. Since our last meeting, the pump has been replaced with the permanent pump. The rental pump has been removed. Next, we're going to focus on addressing the bulkhead to improve the height of the bulkhead, configuration, and the tidal checking mechanism as well. On North Street drainage, the lids were received over the winter, and now it's going to be scheduled to be installed. These are the replacement concrete lids under the atop the concrete culvert on North Street by the municipal complex right now.
Can I chime in, Doug? That is scheduled to be done in the month of August by our DPW, if all goes well.
We'll be available to help out as needed and make sure everything is fitting properly. And when the old lids are removed, we want to get a good look at the remaining culvert that's in place to make sure we're addressing any other needs. The municipal parking lot facility, it's coming together nicely. I believe we should have another day or two of final concrete work and site grading in preparation for the paving. Paving should be about a 2-day process. I'll have them base pave day one, come back, let that cool, come back the following day to top pave, and then your public works department, and we'll be wrapping up the site restoration, the landscaping and decorative stone, along with the striping of the parking lot itself. So stay tuned. That should be turned back over to the borough, hopefully next week. We talked tonight, Mayor and Council awarded the construction contract for Cedar and Jones Creek bulkheads. That's great news. Based on that award, I'll work to execute the contracts with each of the contractors and schedule pre-construction conferences. We have some lead time to deal with those materials, as the sheeting will likely have to be extruded specific for the job and then sent out to the coating factory. As soon as we get those, we'll push that one to be done as quickly as possible. We also awarded Mountain Street tonight. Came in under our engineer's estimate, which is great. Very straightforward paving project. There's a little bit of grading and drainage that I want to address with that project. You'll see some concrete curbing be installed on the northern side of the road, a portion of the northern side of the road to control runoff. And then that remaining portion at the top of the hill will be overlaid. At the last meeting, a miscellaneous concrete repair contract was awarded. We met with the contractor specifically to go over some of the initial desired miscellaneous concrete repair areas. We're going to get that fitting to the contractor's schedule and addressed right away. The large I-Bank project, Bay Ave Waterway Sanitary Sewer project, is moving along nicely. Our initial survey work is complete at this time. We're going through the task of preparing the horizontal plan view drawings of the existing conditions and developing the profiles at the same time. We're going to add to the drawings all the laterals. Just as I had to ask my guys the magnitude of the project, how to put it into perspective. It's over 3 miles of sanitary sewer main replacement and approximately 400 laterals. So it's a really substantial job. We're pushing the plans together, and as soon as they're ready, up to a preliminary plan level, what we're going to do is coordinate with all the other groups that are going to be impacted by it: Monmouth County, water company, gas company. So that one's moving along nicely. Improvements to Locust Street. If you remember, the borough received DOT funding through FY 2020 local aid program. Those plans have been sent to soil erosion and to the DOT for review and approval to go out to bid. As soon as we receive authorization, we will begin the public bid process for Locust. Since the last council meeting, we submitted a new DOT grant application for 2021 municipal aid. That's for King and Matthews. We asked for approximately $350,000. And with your authorization this evening, we'll be ready to submit the CDBG grant application as well for the elevated walkway along Marine Place. That's all I have. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Other questions?
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
That's okay.
Kim, do you have anything prepared for tonight?
Nothing truly new or different from what Doug has reported. The borough has been quite busy with projects. The municipal workers are still on modified schedule, where they're working really well. We haven't had any issues with it as of yet. Please know, everyone out in the public, that you can email us at any time because we're not answering the door or might not answer the phone at the moment. We will get back to you. We have had a few phone issues, so if you've left any messages, it seems to be when we lose power, we lose our messages. So just keep that in mind. As I said, you can absolutely always get us by email. We're working 8:30 to 4:30 every day. There's really nothing else going on. There's virtual camp at the moment. And then I believe that I'm going to ask for suggestions from mayor and council about August activities. Since there is a slight spike in numbers, I don't know how we'll want to handle that, as well as borough events.
Matt.
Myself, I'd like to make a small announcement. There are petition packets for the 3 council seats that will be up in the November election. They are currently posted online on the borough website under the election information tab on the right side of the homepage. There are 2 different petition packets. One is for a unexpired term seat ending in 2021, and there are 2 seats up for full terms ending in 2023. If you have any questions about the petition packet, please call my office or send an email to me at clerk@highlandsborough.org. Additionally, you can, excuse me. In addition, the petition packets are due no later than 4 p.m. on August 31st, 2020. That's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Matt. Does anyone else have anything further to add before we go to public portion?
I do. The EMS is holding a car wash, $8 exterior only, on July 25th, from 12 to 5. Be there. We'll clean your car. We are also in need of more members. If you're interested, reach out to Jay, Kim. We'll get you, or me. We'll get you, we'll point you in the right direction. And that is it.
I would like to say something. I just want to apologize to the public. I have had terrible technical issues this evening. So I couldn't hear things and I lost my Zoom call and trying to log back in. So I do apologize for that.
I've been having the same problem. But I do have a question. Kim, when do you want us to talk about summer camp in August?
It's not even just camp, it's activities, it's renting out the community center itself, and different activities. What we can do is, I did send an email to the mayor and yourself this evening. I think that we start the conversation and then I will separately speak to different council persons. And we always do have the August 3rd meeting, so we could do.
And with that, I will open it up to the public.
Carol Bucco, 330 Shore Drive. Carolyn, I'd like to ask you why you took away the parking, permit parking on Shore Drive.
We did that as a temporary measure as C Street ridership is down about 90%. And just to make it easier for people that live here.
Okay, well, it's not easier for people that live here because since the Hook closes rather early with the crowds, we have the permit parking was only from Marie Street to Willow Street, which is a very small strip. And it's right in front of our complex. And the problem is now people are parking in front of our complex. If you come down on a crowded weekend, there will be nobody parked on Shore Drive except by our complex because they're parking there and they're coming down to use the beach and C Street's beach. And we've had 2 near misses coming out of our driveways because that is the reason you went to the parking restrictions. So I think since it was a temporary measure, I think temporary is time to be over because, you know, we have asked for sand for our beach area for hundreds of years. And we used to have 40 or 50 feet of beach on the north side. And now we have no beach there in high tide. And we have about 20 on the south side. So everybody is coming down. When our beach is filled, then they go over to C Street, but they come through our property. And it is private property. So I don't see any reason. And you have a piece of property right next to ours, which is a beach. And some people are using that beach, but because of the people that live on the end of Matthew Street there, they have it all blocked off with cars, so people can't get through there. You know, somebody should look into that and see that something's done about it, but you need to reinstate the parking there. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is cell service or phone service on the Hill. I don't live there anymore, but the phone service on the Hill is very, very bad. If you don't have a landline, you have no phone service when you get up near Henry Hudson and Winmore and those places. So I think that it would be incumbent on the council to speak to Verizon about about a year or so ago. It must have been more than a year because I've been out of commission for a while. They put some kind of a device up there, but not to help with the cell service. They said at that time, and you were on the council then, and they said it was going to do something, but it wasn't going to have any effect on the cell service. So I don't see, if they can put something up there to help them, why can't they put something up there to help the people up there so that they have phone service at their houses?
Mrs. Bucko, I think Kim can answer that. And the cell tower that they put up by Henry Hudson was to assist the state police. And it's not a cell tower at all. No, but it's a radio tower, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't help the residents.
Right. And I can tell you, even as low as down by my house, I think any of the council people could say, if I'm sitting and I'm holding my cell phone in one hand on my chair, they can't hear me. And as soon as I switch it to the other, they can. So
Well, that's absolutely true, because my sister, during the storm, we had to go to a corner of a bedroom.
Right.
In order to use the phone.
Yeah, well, that's some rooms you can't even use it in my house, but Kim will tell you what we're going to try and do with that.
I actually have been in touch with the Verizon representative to say that we have problems. Verizon, but there are other cell services as well. They have been looking into it. They actually cannot find out what the issue is. So they said, we also have FSD Enterprise that is contracted with the borough, and they will be looking into different options for a cell service as well.
Does that mean the people will have to change their services? Or?
No, I don't believe so. No, FSD is actually an independent company who does cell tower and cell service studies and analysis and makes suggestions.
Okay, I didn't see Comcast on this month's list, so I assume you have settled with Comcast and renewed their contract and have saddled us all with Comcast again?
August 3rd, we have our final hearing on that.
Is it going to be public?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, another thing I came upon today, Seabright, a letter from Seabright in the website. And I don't understand why the schools in Atlantic Highlands and Highlands are opposing joining with Seabright. Seabright has a handful of kids, and they pay big bucks because they have tons of ratables. And Shore Regional has certainly benefited from them. That's why Shore Regional doesn't want to let them out. So I don't know why they can't become part of our school system. There may be, but I think it's worth looking into.
Carol, are you talking about a letter that was put out by the Board of Ed or by the borough?
It was put out by Seabright. It says, can you see it? No, I'm not on video. Wait, I'll go there.
There is a letter from the 3 mayors from Seabright, Atlantic Highlands, and Highlands.
And yes, Carol, we are looking into it.
This is, yeah, it doesn't sign. I thought it was from Seabright because it's Seabright's letterhead. Oh,
I think Seabright's just in the middle. I think it's Highlands and Atlantic on the side of it.
Highlands and Atlantic Highlands is there, but apparently Highlands and Atlantic Highlands are opposed to it. Why? It could only help us, I think, if done properly, but Highlands rarely does things properly, so I don't know if you can handle that.
I think that's more the Board of Education who is opposing it rather than the boroughs.
Well, I don't know why the Board of Education is in charge of it, because they just is governing the school. You're governing the town and the taxes.
That's why we're looking into that.
Okay.
Okay, Carol?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mayor, it's Cliff. I'd like to give a brief update if I can.
Sure, Cliff, go right ahead.
I apologize. I had a problem with my microphone. I couldn't get on earlier. On the redevelopment side, Captain's Cove, as we know, is currently in progress. Shadow Lawn, we had a Zoom call last night, which I think is very, very positive. Things are moving along very, very nicely. And hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be able to see the first renderings. But I think everything is positive in what's going on. On Bay Avenue, we're going to have an economic call with Mike Salerno, who's the property owner of the 8 properties, planner. 238 Bay Avenue. I followed up with Mr. Maritucci today, and he's still working with the property owner there, and he's hoping to have things buttoned up in the next couple of weeks, which time we will schedule another call with him and finalize that. Co-works at 196 Bay Avenue is ready to open. They're just waiting for some supplies. The Spring Building, which is 103, 107 Bay, they're working on a cost analysis for expanding their building footprint for a possible tenant. Monmouth County came out with a COVID reimbursement grant. They're about to launch it. It should be made public by portal on the 22nd. And what Freeholder or known allowed us to do was to ask the businesses to send them their email and some information. And what will happen is, instead of the businesses having to hunt this down, once this thing goes public, the county will automatically send all of the information to the businesses that have registered. I sent out an email blast to that effect. Anyone that did not open up their email, I spent the last couple of days going to those businesses, giving them the information, and I'll finish that up tomorrow. What will happen before the 22nd is we're putting Highlands Borough in the subject. I will get a report from the freeholder's office of who in Highlands did not send the information in, and I will once again get a hold of them. There's no reason why they wouldn't want to apply for this. This is different than the other grants in that payroll is not included in it, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you're a business owner and you're K1, you don't have to worry about revealing any of that information. It's up to $10,000. It's for employers with 50 employees or less, and it's to be used for expenses. So any expenses that had to be spent for COVID, any rent, and they're going to start in March. And I believe he told me they're going to try and get it through June, but if not, it'll at least go through May. And it can go for any expenses, utilities, any cost associated in there. And it's a reimbursement grant, which means they would have to have obviously receipts indicating that it was paid. So I'll be following up with that, and I think that's a great opportunity for our businesses. I sent in a supplemental report with my report for short-term rental. As you know, I was working with Mr. Brunt, the code enforcement, and we've pretty much narrowed it down. Basically, at the very, very end, there were 33 properties involved. We picked up 6 more after the COVID and Mr. Brunt got back into the scheme of things. And the end result was there were summons issued to 3 people for violations and 1 person that agreed to apply. And then the only other thing I have to report is I had sent out 13 pieces of communication from last meeting to this meeting. And I'm sorry, that's all I have.
Thank you, Cliff, very much.
Thanks, Cliff.
AJ?
Good evening, everyone. I have a few questions. I was wondering why I would see.
Will you identify yourself for the record, please, before you continue?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. It's AJ Solomon, 102 Marina Bay Court, Highlands. Of course, you know that part already. I would like to know why I see one of the DPW vehicles in Ocean, a Highlands DPW vehicle. Why would I see that there? Hello?
Yeah, she wants to know why does she see the Ocean County or
In Ocean County or Ocean Township?
In Ocean County.
Because we have a DPW worker that has a contract and is allowed a vehicle.
Okay, but why would the vehicle have to go to Ocean? Like, you know, why wouldn't somebody drive?
This is a personnel issue.
Brian?
I keep getting muted. Do you want to mute me for a reason or?
That was an accident. That was my part. I didn't realize you were the speaker.
If I understand it, I think that the question was answered, but that's it. I wouldn't go any further.
Well, I didn't get my question answered. My question is why would it be necessary for Highlands vehicle to be in Ocean?
That's a personnel issue, AJ. So we can't discuss personnel.
Okay. My second question is, the building on the corner of Water Witch and Bay Avenue, did they have a tax abatement when they bought that building?
Which building?
The building on the corner of
the hardware store?
There's only one building on the corner there now, where Cranky's is.
I don't believe anyone has the answer for that right now. What we're gonna have to do is check with the tax assessor.
Okay, because I feel if we're giving tax abatements to people that are buying buildings to rehabilitate them and then they don't rehabilitate them, what recourse do we have?
Well, AJ, you're not gonna get the tax abatement until you have a CO. And as nobody is in that building is not occupied, so that no tax abatement would begin for that.
Okay.
Also, I'd like to address, We, last summer, I believe, we updated our vacant fee ordinance, and the fines, or I don't like to call it really fines, but, right, yeah, the penalties are very, very steep. They're some of the highest in the area. So we just did that last summer as a deterrent for people to keep properties vacant and not build and not develop, etc.
Okay. My last question is there any way to find out how many moving violations have been given out in Highlands? Because I see no one stops at a stop sign anymore in Highlands. They just drive right through it. And there's a lot of speeding going on Bay Avenue. And, you know, when you drive through Seabright, you know you can't speed because you're going to get a ticket. I would like people to have that same feeling here in Highlands. How do we accomplish that? And has there been any moving violations written? And if they're not being written because of COVID, how can we still enforce the law and protect our citizens?
AJ, I can actually answer that for you because I do have the chief's police report in front of me. And it says here for the last month, there were 20 moving violations issued. 18 non-moving violations, 1 DWI, and 52 borough ordinance violations.
How many moving violations?
20.
Okay, and do we have a total for the year?
I don't have that in front of me, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I would like the council to think of some way that we can keep people from running stop signs and speeding on Bay Avenue.
That's actually a police issue, and we cannot tell the chief of police how to run the department. The only person that could really do that, I believe, is the prosecutor or the attorney general's office.
So, in other words, the citizens of Highlands can't have no say in how anything is run as far as the police are concerned. So, if the police aren't doing their job, or we don't think they're doing their job, what is our recourse? What do we do?
Well, I think that as far as us giving direction to them, we can't give direction. As far as we can speak to the chief of police, or you could always send an email to the chief of police and say you notice that this is happening.
Yeah, I've done that.
But ultimately, the police answer to the attorney general.
I'm sorry, what?
The police answers to the state attorney general. So as Councilman Ryan properly alluded to, that's the answer.
Okay, well then I should direct my question to the attorney general. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not going to tell you what to do for advice. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that was really helpful.
AJ,
my other question is, before I sign off, is who do I contact regarding the personnel issue about the DPW vehicle?
You can email me, AJ, or call me.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow.
It's Kim.
AJ, this is Linda Mazzola. What I would do is I would go back to what Rosemary Ryan said. If you have an issue, you can send an email to the chief of police, but I would also copy the administrator and the council.
Well, I may do that. I've actually spoken to him in person. Perhaps it's better in writing, but I can, since they answer to the attorney general, I think they should be CC'd on the email or any correspondence, because that's who they have to answer to. Obviously, they don't answer to council and they don't answer to citizens. So, you know, if I have a complaint, then I guess it should be directed to him and whoever directs them. Yes?
AJ, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with. I just do want to speak on behalf of the police department and the police chief. I know at times it might seem as though there might not be action taken, but when you have 2 or 3 officers on a shift and someone pulls someone over, if they set up a stop, let's say, you're going to have one officer directing another officer who to pull over, and until that call is over, they can't pull somebody else over. So even if they do set up different days where they have one officer watch and another pull over. But then you also have calls that go out. There's fire alarms. They don't only just pull over traffic. They have to answer every first responder call that goes out.
I understand that, but we do have an issue at a number of different stop signs, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has noticed it, but I noticed in 5 minutes, I noticed 18 cars go through the stop sign at Valley and Shore Drive, and where that Valley Bank is, and Shore Drive. So it's Waterwitch and Shore Drive. 18 cars in a matter of minutes. So is there not some way that we can send them tickets? I mean, is there not some kind of ordinance that can be written to protect us? So someone's going to get killed at that intersection.
AJ, just so you know as well, we're working with the county with a traffic study for that area to come up with the best, project that we can come up with to solve the problem. That COVID did delay the process, but we are in works with a remedy for that area.
And is there a time frame on that?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say no. I wish there was.
Well, that is part of the issues we have here. We put things out on the calendar and then we don't have time frames for them, so they just kind of sit there. So anyway, they're my issues tonight, is safety in town. And it's, I don't want things, our vehicles and things that the citizens paid for to be misused, but I will direct that to Kim tomorrow. And I think that, we have to do something with some of these buildings downtown that people have bought and are doing nothing with, that are just sitting there empty, so. Anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, AJ.
I have a couple of questions. Irene Campbell,
Go ahead.
328 Shore Drive. It's come to my attention that one of your newly appointed resident members of the Open Space Committee is not a resident of Highlands. Do we check addresses on them?
Yes, we do check addresses, driver's license, and such. If they don't own the home, we do ask for proof.
Okay, and my other question is, you approved some summer employees tonight, but you don't have a plan for summer camp this year yet?
Right, they're not camp employees, they're summer part-time employees that will be given different tasks, not just community center or recreation.
Oh, so what task would they be doing if there's no camp or recreation?
Well, Irene, we still have virtual camp, and we make the decision if that's still going to continue. We also still have the summer food program that could be administered, and we could do that as a pickup. So we would still need people in order to do those programs.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
Can I just ask, if you're not speaking, would you please mute your phones? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kim Skorka, Shore Drive. I want to thank the council for managing to get back into the community center. I know there's been some technology issues, but hopefully we can resolve those. I want to thank AJ for speaking up about traffic control in town. I know she's not at a lot of meetings, but I just want to say we've been talking about this for years, and I saw minutes 10 years ago. Traffic control is still an issue in town. As to the building at Bay and Waterwitch, I don't know if they got a tax abatement, but I was at the planning or zoning meeting where we all spoke up in support of their project. I was very excited for it to move forward, and very disappointed that I wasted my time on them. I do want to get to my questions, which have to do with the coronavirus and Taste of Highlands. I've got my fingers crossed the event goes off without a hitch, but I have some concerns if someone tests positive. If in the days after Taste of Highlands, a restaurant employee, business partnership employee, a volunteer tests positive, do we have a plan? Are we going to mandate that all restaurants and employees that were on duty that day get tested? Do we have them report them to the borough so we can keep track? I assume that they're going to follow the protocol where if someone tests positive, the restaurant or bar gets closed for 14 days. And my biggest concern is the borough liable if someone catches the coronavirus at this event. Thank you.
I don't have answers to all of your questions, but I can tell you that because this is being, the taste is being done out of doors using the same protocols as Executive Order 150, where it's out of doors, people are wearing masks if they can't socially distance. And everyone's trying to remain 6 feet apart. If you can't be 6 feet apart, you have to wear your mask. And also all of these, everything's being done on private property. So there would be no liability to the borough as nothing is being done on borough property. No samples or food or whatever anybody's giving out.
But the borough approved the event.
Correct. The borough approved of the event in January or February, way before any of it happened. It's just like the borough approved Clam Fest, but that's not going to happen. Because according to the executive orders, you can't have concerts, you can't have festivals and big celebrations. This type of thing is not lending itself to that type of an issue. Anything else?
Will there be contact tracing should a participant test positive? Are we keeping a list of names and phone numbers or email addresses for all participants so that if somebody does test positive, somebody will contact them and let them know they might be at risk?
I think that's a state. Is that us? It's for the local? Okay, okay.
Yes, when somebody signs up for the taste, they have their name, address, telephone, email address, all of that stuff.
Including if they pay cash at one of the parks and get their ticket the day of?
There will be nobody at the parks. Everything is being done online for this reason.
A suggestion that I can make is that if it makes the public more comfortable using touch-free temperature, taking the temperature and not allowing people to participate if they have a fever. I've been places where that is being done.
Is that mandatory? Can you
It's not mandatory, no.
Can you mandate that?
But how can you control that if you want to go to a restaurant, nobody's taking your temperature before you go into a restaurant, and they're eating outside, so you can't really have one thing for one set of circumstances and another thing for a different set of circumstances when they're, at the end of the day, they're doing stuff outside.
Yeah, this event is not creating any activity in town that doesn't ordinarily go on a Saturday afternoon. There are going to be people at restaurants eating outside with or without Taste of Highlands, and that Saturday afternoon there'll be a few extra, but they'll all have to abide by the rules.
One of these participants just sent a message that says it starts at Huddy, or tickets are available at Huddy. Ken, do you know anything about that?
I'm sorry. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, they're going to pick up a map, shows them where to go, and they're having a face mask made with some printing on it. So they're even giving them their custom face mask.
Kim, are you good, or can we move on?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have a comment this evening?
Carol Bucko, I just thought of another thing. I understand that the people at the farmers market are not wearing face masks, nor are they wearing gloves. The vendors.
Vendors are wearing both, and people that are shopping are encouraged to wear their face masks as well if they cannot socially distance. I've been at the market every Saturday, as I have been for many years.
Well, the first Saturday in June, they were not wearing them.
Okay. All right.
I have to say, I was there, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and I did see everybody working at any of the vendors. They all had masks on and gloves. I did not have one on, but I will wear them in the market. There was nobody near me except my daughter.
Does anyone else have anything for tonight?
I do. Tricia Rivera, 31 Morwich. What's going on at Captain's Cove right now, is that being considered the redevelopment plan?
It is not. It's considered the repairs that were agreed to previously.
Okay, because Cliff mentioned that it was the redevelopment plan. And are we considering giving them a temporary mercantile license before the engineer report?
That a determination has not yet been made.
Okay, and one more question: who and the mayor and council has actually walked over there and looked to see what was going on over there?
Trisha, I've been there at least once a week.
I drive by at night, usually
Okay.
2 or 3 times a week. I have not walked it, but I have driven it.
Same.
I biked it last weekend.
Okay. I just want to make sure you all can see exactly what's going on over there, and are not going by photos that someone's posting.
Not at all. I do 5 miles a day, Trisha. I walk all over this town.
Okay. Then I'm sure there won't be any temporary mercantile license anytime soon. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have something to add, please?
Michael Lockman, 92 Seadrift Avenue. Hello?
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. This is my first time I'm calling in. First, Caroline, I just want to thank you for always responding to my calls. I check my taxes. I got a whopping 66% tax increase in my third quarter taxes. And it just came out of left field. It's not new construction. I've been here since 2000.
Michael, it's really hard to hear you.
Okay. My taxes went up 66% from May to August. Did you hear that? Hello?
Yes, we heard that.
And
we're just trying to mute so that you can finish speaking.
66% increase from May to August. The budget from 2017 was less than it is in 2020. This is a house that was built in 1915. How can the town justify a 66% increase in taxes when the budget is less than it was 3 years ago?
Have you spoken to the tax assessor? You may want to reach out to him to get some clarification.
Jay said he was
Well,
going to get in touch with you, Mike.
Yeah, I did speak to Jay, and I heard Kim talk earlier. Getting a return call from the town, and in my 19 years, I probably called the town 4 times, 3 times in the last several months. Carolyn's had to interject each time to get somebody to return my calls. But yet Jay did respond, but it still gets back to with all the new construction, And a lot of people, I recommend you go look at your taxes for August. You're all going to be shocked, or a lot of you will be. But I had talked to the tax assessor and collector pre-COVID, and even you, Carolyn. I was told, hey, we're going to be at 100%. That I had really no worries of taxes going up more than single digits. And I did talk to the assessor and collector. So this was a complete shock, being on a fixed income now, to be whacked with a 66% increase that I wouldn't have even known about had I not gone on the taxes, checked my taxes last week.
Did Jay talk to you about looking into why this happened? I just don't want to speak for the assessor right now. I don't have your tax bill. I haven't seen your tax bill, so I don't want to make any assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, there really is no justification. I'm looking at, and there are a lot of other neighbors around here that have gone up 30, 40%. As I'm looking at the general budget from 2000, it went up about 7% this last year, 3.1% the year before, a decrease of 10.5% in 2018, about a little bit less than 2017. Nothing would, outside of COVID, would justify that kind of increase. There was no improvement. And I'm saying this is not just me, Michael O'Loughlin. This is across many parts of the town. Some I've actually seen in there's new construction that's less than my house on Seadrift towards the bay.
So, Michael, it's really hard to place exactly what the issue is with your tax assessment. Each house and case is a case-by-case basis, right? So what we would need to do is take a look at, were there any improvements done? When was the last assessment? Were there any added or any deletions to your tax assessment? What at the point that it was it assessed prior to any work? There's just many different things that go into play when it comes to the assessment and where the numbers are. Right now, you were probably part of that part of town that was reassessed. So what happens is that equalized valuation. So people are going to see an increase if their values have climbed that drastically since the last assessment. You're also going to have residents that have gone down, and that's because of that equalized valuation. So I'm sure that Jay will be more than happy to go over the specifics with you. We did have a phone issue. We have had a phone issue. I did say earlier, I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
Our messages are getting deleted out. You're muted.
I don't know. I lost you there, but yeah, I hear you. It's not the end of the world, but this is something that happened. I've never heard of a phone system losing all its messages because you lost power, but neither here nor there. This is something that even, a month and a half ago happened. Just getting town workers to return messages, multiple messages, is like pulling teeth. Mm-hmm. And every time I've had to get Carolyn involved. But I'm saying this is not just my issue at 92 Seadrift. I'm looking across the board. The tax, the assessment means nothing. It's the actual taxes. There are a lot of houses that we were all required to raise our houses. The last assessment was 5 years ago. And here I'm on Seadrift. All the neighbors are getting 30. I'm the highest at 66%. There was no addition, no improvements. And we're all getting whacked at 30. I'm the highest at 66%. So how can the town justify no new construction?
Can you do me a favor, Michael? Could you email me your block and lot, and I'll look it up in the system. I'll be able to look at the history, the different assessments, and see what I see.
Yeah,
and I'll do it along with Jay. What was that?
Yeah, because it's what's your last name, Kim?
Gonzalez. Gonzales. Yeah. So if you go on the website, there's a direct link.
Yeah. and I get that and I don't want to waste people's time, but please look at your taxes for August. Many of you are going to be shocked. But the fact that I did talk to the tax assessor, I did talk to the tax collector, and my worries were put at ease when my assessment had gone up 50%, when I was told, well, we're going to be at, and my verbiage isn't exactly correct, but it's going to be at 100% of the value, but everybody's going up. And since the budget is only going up, in this case, 7% compared to last year, but about the same of 2017, it's just the rate will go down. So don't worry about it. Well, I didn't worry about it, and I should have, because now I get nailed with a 66% increase that just totally came out of left field. That if I didn't check, I wouldn't have found out until May or March, with my mortgage saying, hey, now you owe all these thousands of dollars, and now you've got to pay an extra $500 a month or whatever. But it's a huge increase, especially in these incredibly trying times of COVID.
Michael, I'm going to leave this, if you could just leave this with the assessor and with Kim, and she'll follow up with you tomorrow. Okay?
Yes, and Carolyn, thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Kim Skorka, 315 Shore Drive. I just have one quick question. This is the second meeting in a row that somebody has talked about their taxes going way up. What is the process for properties that are being reassessed? Are these people possibly part of the 5-year rolling reassessment? Thank you.
Yeah, these probably are the people that have been reassessed and had a very old assessment.
But they do get a notice in the mail that they're being reassessed, right? This shouldn't be.
Yes.
Yeah, you usually get a letter or a postcard from RDS.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, again, this is Michael Locklear, 19 Seadrift again. It's not so much the assessment. I've looked at other properties that their assessment is so much higher, but their tax rate is so much less. A new house that's at $50,000 more than mine, they're paying $800 less in taxes. So it's not just the assessment. It's just somehow the rate thing is all screwed up because
you don't know if maybe that person filed a tax appeal and had their rate lower. You had their taxes lower. That's why Kim has to look at the whole history to get it.
I get, but when I'm looking at a new home that's 2018, 2017, and I'm looking at I talked to a gentleman today on Seadrift down by the bay. He didn't appeal it. I talked to him for about a half hour. A brand new home.
Okay. Well, like I said, let Kim dig into it and she'll get back to you. Okay.
Thank you for your time.
You got it. But does anyone have anything else? If not, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second, third.
A motion to adjourn by Mayor Brion, second by Council President. A motion to adjourn by Mayor Brion, second by Council President Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 9:35 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.